We're taking a look at a lesson here on what's called translations. The objective today is I can verify that an object has been rotated, reflected, or translated by comparing the lengths of lines and line segments from one object to the other. So that'll make more sense here as we get into our vocabulary and steps here in a minute. Let's look at this vocabulary. An object that maps a geometric figure, called a preimage, onto a new figure, called an image. This is what's called a transformation. Basically, you're taking a shape and you're moving it in some way. And so there's different ways to do transformations. And today we're specifically talking about a translation. It's a type of transformation. The original figure before a transformation is called the preimage. And then the resulting figure after a transformation is called an image. So basically you're taking a figure, you're moving it in some way. Before you move it is called the preimage. After you move it is called the image. A transformation that slides a figure from one position to another without turning it is called a translation. So that's the one we're talking about specifically today. All right, for this next part, if you have available to you some paper and some scissors and a pencil to do this along with me, then I would encourage you to do that. If you don't have those materials, then you may just need to watch as I do this stuff. But if you need to pause the video, go get that stuff. If you have it, great. Go get it and you can do this with me. The triangle shown on the grid is the preimage, called the input. The arrow shows the motion of a translation and how point A is translated to point A, and it's got this little, looks like an apostrophe there, but in geometry we call that a prime symbol. And so we would read that A prime. So basically they moved this preimage A to this spot right here where it became A prime and it became part of the image. So it says here, trace triangle ABC onto a piece of paper and cut out your traced triangle. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. Put my piece of paper over this and I'm going to trace my triangle here. So go ahead and do that too if you have access to paper. And I'm going to cut it out. It doesn't say to cut it out, but it's going to be easier to cut it out here to be able to do what we want to do with this. So I should have a triangle when I'm done that basically matches the one that was on the page there, but I'm going to be able to move it, and I wasn't able to move the triangle that's already drawn on there. So, okay, it says slide your triangle along the arrow to model the translation that maps point A to A prime. So we're not going to turn it at all. We're going to keep that point straight up, and we're going to slide this so we end up with it right there on A prime. So we still have this side that is vertical and this side that's horizontal. Let's see what else it wants us to do. It says the image of the translation is the translation is the triangle produced by the translation. Sketch the image of the translation. So what they're saying is this is the preimage. We now have the image after we've translated it. So they want us to go ahead and put what the shape would be after it's been translated. So we've got the figure here, but let's just go ahead. We got A prime there. Let's go ahead and put a dot down here. That's where B moved to. So let's label that B prime. And then we're going to put a point here. That's where C was before, and now it's here. So we're going to call that C prime. And now we can go ahead and draw in the triangle just by connecting the dots. Okay, the vertices of the image are labeled using prime notation. For example, the image of A is A prime. Label the images of B and C. We already did that here. This is B prime and that's C prime. Describe the motion modeled by the translation. So basically we moved to the right and we moved down. Now we moved diagonally, but if you were to describe two different directions that we moved to get there, you would have to say that we moved to the right and we moved down. So we're going to say how many units we moved for each one of those. So one way to do this is to go back to just one of the points, go back to A and move our way to A prime. And we're going to count how many units we moved right until we're right above A prime, and then how many units we moved down to get down to A prime. So we went right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, it looks like, so move 7 units right. And then from there we move down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 units down. And that's true for every single one of these points. If I went from C now, I could go 7 right and down 5 and end up at C prime. If I went to B prime, I would do 7 right and then 5 down. So each one of those points got moved 7 units to the right and 5 down if you were to have to move horizontally and vertically on the grid there. Let's take a look at some more steps here. It says the figure shows triangle XYZ. Graph the image of the triangle after translation of 4 units to the right and 1 unit up. So it's already done most of this work for us. You can see some lines already drawn here. But I just want you to see what they did here. Step 1, they're just going to take each point one step at a time. Translate point X. So count right 4 units and up 1 unit and plot point X. So you see it from X. They went to the right 1, 2, 3, 4, and then they went up 1. They did the same thing for Y. To the right 1, 2, 3, 4, and then up 1. And then they did the same thing for Z. To the right 1, 2, 3, 4, and then up 1. This just says now that we have all our points there, now just connect to form triangle X prime, Y prime, Z prime. So now that we have all those in place, we're going to go ahead and connect the new vertices there. And you'll notice that it's a triangle. It's the exact same shape and size as the other one. It's just been moved. It's just been, we just slid it across the coordinate grid there by moving each point one at a time. All right, let's flip over the back side. Let's do a little practice with this. It says graph the image of the figure using the transformation given. So this says to translate this this pre-image here. We're gonna move it to 5 units left and 3 units up to make the image. So we're just going to start at one of these points here. It doesn't matter which one we start at, and we're just going to go around and we're going to move each one 5 units to the left and 3 units up. So we're going to start with T here and go 5 units left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 3 units up. 1, 2, 3. We're going to put a point there, and we're going to label that T prime. R, we're going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and up 1, 2, 3. Put a point there. Label that R prime. Okay, let's go with A now. We're just going to go around like this. We're going to go to the left 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then up 1, 2, 3. Put a point there. Label that one A prime. And then P. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and up 1, 2, 3. Put a point there. Label that one P prime. So now we have all of our points labeled. Now we can just connect the dots here. And we have translated that whole shape, just 1 point at a time there, 5 units left and 3 units up. Let's see, we've got 4 of these all together, so let's do another one here with number 2. Oh, actually, let's drop down and do number 3 here. This gives us the coordinates, so we have to put the original points on here, and then we're going to then translate it 4 units up. So we're going to have to plot A, B, and C, the pre-image on here. That's not given to us. So let's put A on here. It's -2, -5, so back 2 and down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Put a point there and label that A. B is at 2, -4, so to the right 2 and down 1, 2, 3, 4. Label that B. And then C is at 0, -1, so over 0 and down 1 right there. Label that C. Okay, it just says we're translating that 4 units up. Let's go ahead and draw these lines in. So we're just going to take each one of these and go up 4 units. So it doesn't really matter where we start. I guess I'll start with, I'll start with A, since that's the first one that we put on there. So up 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this is going to be A prime. Let's go to B. We're going up 1, 2, 3, 4. Label that B prime. And then C up 1, 2, 3, 4. Labeling that C prime. So we're going to connect those. There we go. Okay, let's continue with the odd ones here. Let's just do this last one. Last odd one. It says find the coordinates of the vertices of each figure after the given transformation. It says that we're supposed to translate 3 units left, and 3 units up. So this time we're not given a picture, we're just given coordinates. And we have to know a little bit about x coordinates and y coordinates and how they change when you add or subtract to them, or when you move left or right or up or down. So for j, we're gonna move it, and it's gonna become j prime here in a minute. And we're gonna do k, it's gonna become k prime, and l is gonna be l prime. So without a picture, the x coordinate, remember, it tells us how to move on the x-axis. If we move to the right, it goes up. If we move to the left, it goes down. So if we're moving to the left 3 units, and we're at 5 right now, we're going to be going down 3 from there, right? So the new x-coordinate for this is going to be 2. In fact, why don't we just go ahead and do all of our x-coordinates first? So this one has an x-coordinate of 3, but we're moving 3 inches to the left, so we're going to be going down 3, so from 3 down to 0. This one's at 1. If we go down 3 from there, where's that going to end up? Go down 3, it's going to end up at -2. Okay, then we're also going 3 units up. So the y-coordinate here tells us how we move up or down. And if we're going up, it's going to increase. We're going to go up with the number instead of down with the number. So -4, if we go up 3 from there, it's going to go up to -1, right? If we add 3 to that. If we add 3 to -1, it's going to go up to +2. And if we add 3 to -3, it's going to end up being 0. So without even having to draw the picture this time, we're able to just to know where the coordinates would end up, because we know how the x and the y coordinates would change if we move to the left and if we move up. Looks like we do have one more here that we're going to do. These aren't numbered here, so that threw me off a little bit. This is 7 and this is 8. So let's go and take a look at number 7 here real quick. Number 7, it says write a rule to describe each translation. So all we're doing is we're trying to figure out what happened. We know this is going to be a translation, so you can say this is going to be a translation. And then we're going to say the distance and direction that we moved. So how many units we're moving and and what direction we're moving. So all you got to do is you got to find one pre-image point and then go to the image. So for example, Q is real easy to see right here. From Q to Q prime, what did we do? Well, we went to the right. We went to the right 1, 2, 3. And I didn't go up or down at all. So I'm going to say that the rule is we did a translation 3 units right. But we didn't go up or down at all, so that's it for that rule. Just a translation 3 units right. So we did each one of these, one of each one of these in each set of directions here. We'll probably go ahead and do these other ones in class now. But that's it for now. This is just an introduction to translations.